Hey guys, how's it going? This is Natinator, and welcome back to the final part of the NoEnd House series. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that you may or may not know, and may or may not want to hear if you don't already know. The secret is that this story was never officially completed, and, well, that leaves us with an ending that is more or less extremely unsatisfying. I apologize for the heavy news, but yeah. I just wanted to let you guys know so that you don't go disliking the video and commenting about a crappy ending or something. This isn't a true ending, but we'll just have to leave a lot of the unanswered questions to our imaginations, so now that that's out of the way, let's finish this. So as always, turn out the lights, get comfortable, and let the story be finished. The girl stood up and brushed her hair out of her face. For some reason, even taking how terrifying she should be to David, there was something oddly normal about the girl. She had shoulder-length brown hair, and was skinny as a rail, with a few specks of freckles across her nose and cheeks. Even her clothes could be found in any store, black tank top and jeans, tucked into black-red boots. She was older than he first thought as well. Closer to 16, if she even had an age. A hum from behind them startled them both, and dragged David back into his current situation. "We have to go," she said. "Now." And the girl grabbed his hand and took off. Surprised, David followed and nearly dropped his phone. He tried to hold it up as far as he could to light the way. "No need." The girl raised her free hand in front of her as she spoke. "I got it." She mumbled something under her breath, something that couldn't have been English, and a glowing light pulsated in front of them and followed. It was like a spotlight from above was following their movements. The hum from behind was getting louder as they approached the first fork in the tunnel. Without hesitation, the girl veered them over to the right. Clearly she knew where she was going, and David wasn't about to argue. After a moment, the humming stopped, and they were stood in front of a ladder leading up into darkness. "Just up here," and the girl began to climb the ladder before them. David snapped back into reality, and he was incredibly confused. "Wait!" The girl stopped mid-climb and looked over her shoulder. "Look, I know this is weird. No, I know what weird is. I've seen weird. Who are you?" "I'll explain soon, okay? We just really kinda need to get out of here, okay? No one is supposed to be here and we, well, are, so..." And with that, the girl returned to her climb. David was about to retort, but the hum from behind grew louder. Survival outweighed understanding at that point, and David grabbed the ladder and followed the girl, leaving that tunnel for hopefully the last time. The ladder led the pair into an empty room. It almost looked like a huge broom closet. A few scattered buckets and mops were lining the walls, but for being part of the house, it was very unassuming. The girl next to him shook herself off and shoved her hand toward David. Her mood swings were clearly something to be impressed with, and David reluctantly took her hand and shook it. "You're probably wondering who I am, and why I know you." The girl didn't even wait for David to respond. "My name is Natalie, and this is sort of my house." "What are you talking about? How is this your house? This fucking place is your house?" I know, but you have to understand what happened. It wasn't always like this. And what the hell? What was that thing you did? With the light down there? Yes, I know. This is all a part of it. It all relates. Just let me explain." Natalie paused and looked at David. He closed his mouth and looked back at her, letting her know she was now free to talk without interruption. "This is my house. I know it may seem like hell right now, and you're right. It is. My family kind of dealt in some weird stuff. We moved into this house about 10 years ago, and it was nice. A small, quaint place. Yeah, considering I'm used to the city. But it was nice. The problem is, my family, we can do things. Witches, I guess." Natalie kind of laughed at the thought. "Mostly just parlor tricks, like that light show you saw in the tunnels. But some of us, like my brother, took it a bit too far. He started to mess with some dark dealings, demons and summoning and the like. I mean, summoning isn't always bad. I can summon a cat, for instance, which is kind of cute, but what my brother dealt with was far worse. We would try and tell him to end it, but the power was kind of getting to him. Peter was never one to listen to reason." Peter? The idea was circling David's head, but he wasn't quite ready to accept it. Peter had been his friend for years, he thought. This one night, 7 years ago, my brother took it too far. Summoning demons for a few minutes here and there wasn't enough for him anymore. He needed more. We would ask him why he was so obsessed with all of this, and he would only respond by asking, why not? What happened over the next few nights, it's kinda hard to talk about it. Even with her blacked out eyes, David could tell this memory really pained the young girl. All of this hell, was because of her brother, his friend. It seemed to David that this girl was just as much a prisoner as he was. "All right." David put a hand on her shoulder. "Then let's get you out of here." David took a look at his surroundings. His heart jumped slightly as he glanced around. Aside from the hatch in the floor they had just entered through, there wasn't any other exit, just smooth cement walls. "Do you know where we are?" he asked the girl, hoping to God she had some idea. "Yeah, of course," she said, with a bit too much hesitation for David's liking. "It's my house, isn't it?" And with that, she made her way over to one of the far walls. The surface of the wall was a smooth, brushed grey cement. There was no way through, no door, nothing. Natalie reached into her pocket and took out what looked to be a small piece of artist's charcoal. She pressed it to the wall, and began to draw a long, swooping line about 3 feet in length. Line after line followed, and David watched in awe as the girl stood back and admired her work. David had never seen anything like it outside of fantasy movies. It was like a yin and yang, mixed with a pentagram, mixed with a child's doodle. Natalie placed the charcoal back into her pocket and ran her fingers through her hair. After a moment of silence, she raised her hand and placed her right palm against the symbol, resting 2 fingers against her temple with the other. At first, David thought she was speaking to him, but then realized that she was chanting her weird language again. Soon the symbol looked to be vibrating, and David watched on as it began to steadily glow a deep purple. Natalie smiled to herself as she felt the wall shake before it split in 2. "I've always loved doing that,"